There are performances that end when the lights go down, and then there are performances that seem to keep getting bigger long after the artists have left the stage. That is exactly what is happening around SB19 after their appearance at Summer Sonic 2026 in Osaka, Japan. Because this time, the story is not simply that SB19 performed at one of Japan's biggest music festivals. The bigger story is what happened next. Their name started moving across trending platforms. Their Summer Sonic keyword climbed to the top of trend trackers, and conversations connected to SB19 began appearing across different locations. And suddenly, a performance that happened in Osaka was becoming a much bigger international conversation. So what exactly happened, and why does this moment feel different for SB19? Let's get into it. Summer Sonic is not an ordinary concert. It is one of Japan's major music festivals, bringing together well-known international stars, Japanese acts, and some of the most talked about artists from across Asia and beyond. And on August 14th, 2026, SB19 officially appeared on the Osaka lineup alongside artists including Dendre, Travis Japan, AKMU, Chili Beans, Starglow, and TWUWS. The official Summer Sonic lineup places SB19 on the massive stage. That detail matters because SB19 were not arriving in Osaka as a small internet act performing alone. They were stepping into a huge Japanese festival environment surrounded by major names and an audience that had plenty of choices. And this is where the story becomes interesting. Before the performance, the idea was simple. SB19 had to deliver. But after the performance, the conversation started changing. The phrase SB19 Summer Sonic Osaka began appearing clearly across trend monitoring platforms, reaching a best position of number 1. And that is where the numbers become interesting. One tracker captured the topic as trending now with a best position of number 1 and hundreds of posts being generated around it. Another trend monitor showed SB19 Summer Sonic Osaka reaching number 1 worldwide at the time it was being tracked, and the reaction was not limited to one place. The conversation was being picked up across different locations, including Japan and Kuwait. That is the part that should make people stop and pay attention, because going viral inside the Philippines is one thing. Getting Filipino fans excited is another. But creating enough energy around a Japanese festival appearance that the event title itself starts climbing international trend charts. That is a different level of attention. And remember, this happened in Japan, a country with one of the world's most important music markets. A country where SB19 have been carefully building their presence. In fact, this summer appearance is part of a much bigger Japanese push for the group. SB19 had already been growing their activities in Japan, including their first ever special fan meeting there, while their 2026 global promotional schedule also included major appearances across the United States and Japan. So, Summer Sonic was not just another random stop. It was another major piece of a much larger international growth. And now, the online reaction is giving us another clue about how quickly that growth can turn into cultural conversation. Think about what a trend actually means. It means people are searching, people are posting, people are reacting, people are sharing clips, people are talking about what they just witnessed. And when the subject begins appearing across different regions, the conversation starts becoming much harder to keep within one fan community. That is why this moment feels important. SB19 are no longer simply trying to convince the world that Ppop deserves attention. They are increasingly walking into spaces where the world is already watching. Summer Sonic is a perfect example. The festival's official lineup included global acts such as Lark and Seal, Ellie, Seraphim, Pentatonix, Jimaru, and Baby Monster-related festival programming, while SB19 shared the Osaka bill with major Japanese and international names. And yet, after their performance, the name SB19 was suddenly becoming part of the online conversation surrounding the festival. That is powerful because international recognition is not built from one viral moment alone. It is built when one opportunity leads to another. A major festival leads to new listeners. New listeners lead to searches. Searches lead to interest. Interest leads people to the music. And suddenly, an artist who was unfamiliar to someone yesterday becomes an artist they are watching today. That is how global growth happens. And SB19 appeared to understand that perfectly. They have been moving from one major international opportunity to another, from North American stages to major cultural platforms, and now to Japan's Summer Sonic Festival. The group's momentum has also been strengthened by the release of Lawless, their latest single, following their historic Lollapalooza appearance. So when people ask why SB19 keep appearing in international conversations, the answer is becoming clearer. It is not just one song. It is not just one performance. It is the collection of moments. Every stage adds another layer. Every new country introduces the group to another audience. And every successful performance gives people another reason to talk. That is exactly what makes the Summer Sonic moment so interesting, because the performance itself may have lasted only a short time, but the online reaction can continue for much longer. And for SB19, that reaction may be even more valuable than the performance itself. Japan has now seen them. Festival audiences have experienced them. Online communities are talking about them, and international trend data is capturing that attention. This is the kind of momentum artists spend years trying to build. But there is still an even bigger question. Can SB19 turn this attention into something lasting? Because trending for an hour is exciting. Trending for a day is impressive. But becoming an artist, people continue searching for months later. That is the real goal. And that is where SB19's next moves become very important. The Summer Sonic appearance gives them something that cannot simply be bought with advertising. It gives them a moment where people who may have never heard of SB19 before suddenly have a reason to ask, who are these 5 Filipino artists? Why are people talking about them? Why are they appearing at major festivals in Japan? And what happens when those interested viewers press play? That is where the real opportunity begins. Because once interest turns into music streams, video views, follows, and new fans, a trend becomes something much bigger. It becomes growth. And judging by the reaction surrounding SB19 Sonic Osaka, the conversation is already moving in that direction. For years, Ppop fans have talked about SB19 taking Filipino music to the world. Now, we are watching another chapter of that journey happen in real time. Not in Manila, not only in the Philippines, but in Osaka, Japan, on one of the country's biggest festival stages. And perhaps the most interesting part is this. SB19 did not need to wait for the world to come looking for them. They walked onto the stage, they performed, and then the internet started doing what the internet does best. They started talking. So, if you thought Summer Sonic was simply another performance on SB19's already packed international schedule, think again. This may end up being one of those moments people look back on and say that was when the Japanese audience started paying serious attention. That was when the conversation became international. And that was when SB19's global journey entered another level. The performance is over, but the reaction, that story, is only